I would actually like to know myself what happened to Christa. As, you know, being in the game is one thing, but as a fan of the game, I'm actually right there with you. I don't know. And, you know, I would love to know the backstory of what happened with Clem and Christa and Omid, you know, once at the end of season 1, or, you know, they see them up on the hillside, they get together, they go on this journey. I have no clue what happened to the baby, obviously. She's still out there in the universe. I would absolutely love to have her return. She was a badass character. But I don't know. I have theories, but that's kind of the same as all the fans out there. So, yeah, I would love it, but I don't know.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel here today, and we're back from the Walking Dead video. And in today's video, guys, I will be talking about Christa. So since we did not get her in The Walking Dead the final season, now it comes to the question, is Christa alive or is Christa dead? And will she get a DLC or a potential spin-off series, potentially? As I've hinted again, with you guys have seen some of my past videos about, there is likely to be a Walking Dead DLC. There's lots of hints around it, and this is a very likely possibility that they could go into Christa's story. So, do you guys think Christa's alive? Leave it down below in the comments. If you guys are new, make sure you guys smack a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be going into. Obviously, I'm going to cover another video in about week 2, 3, we'll see, about just the mystery of Christa alone, and divulge into that and what I think. But this is more of like an alive or dead kind of video. So, hope you all enjoy. The first thing I want to discuss is this interview Melissa Hutchinson had, voice actor Clementine, about a month ago. And she talked about Christa. And, you know, how about she doesn't know what happened to her, but she talked about how she's still in the universe. Kind of hinting that, you know, even though maybe she's not directly with the writing process, she believes herself that Christa's still out there, alive, somewhere. And she talked about the mystery of her baby. She wants to know what happened with the baby. You know, between season 1, Omid, Christa, Clementine, how they got all together. You know, maybe the 16-month time skip. It all starts to connect that there's a potential that I think Christa's story could be expanded upon in a potential DLC. Now, this isn't any confirmation at all, but it's hinting that Christa's still out there. She's alive, somewhere out there. We're going to have an article here I'm going to talk about that's kind of hint that her fate is more up to interpretation, unknown, up to us, if it's ever going to get answered in a potential, you know, other game. So this article is from twinfinite.com. I'm going to throw a link to it down below in the description. I have some passages from it, and it's an entire interview with Kent Muddle, the creative director of the final season. And he talks about a lot about Christa and her fate. So, this is very interesting. So basically, in the beginning of the final season, they were thinking about bringing a returning character back. We all know that character ended up being Lily. But there was a discussion in the beginning that Lily or Christa, it was going to be between them two. And it was basically the decision. We have to bring a character very central to Clementine's story. And that was either going to be Lily or Christa. And they needed an antagonistic force to rival Clementine. And they decided, you know, since Christa's kind of not that kind of person, that they couldn't bring her back. But that means that there is thought that she could have came back. They were considering it. So in my opinion, this is confirmation. Pretty much 80-85% in my opinion that Christa is alive. That they can bring her back. They have the backstory. Because they were considering it. And with them considering it, it gives me enough good faith to tell me, yeah, they were going to probably bring Christa back. And Christa could still come back in a DLC or a potential spinoff. Meaning, I think she survived. Would have loved to have seen how they would have explained it, though. So the next part expands on Christa. Speaking of Christa, will we ever know what happened to Christa? That's arguably the biggest unsolved mystery in the Walking Dead video games after Kenny's hat. Is there any desire to revisit that dangling thread? And Ken Mullen said, I mean, I was not involved at all in the creative work of Season 2. Season 2 clearly leaves it in a very sort of ambiguous place, but it also doesn't leave it in any way that it makes it so the story has any desire to pick up on the thread ever again. Honestly, I wouldn't see much point of bringing her back at this point. She could have been anywhere. Characters are allowed to just vanish in the apocalypse. Ooh, not a good sign there. He's basically just saying, you know, some things are left to be kept a mystery. As I said before, you know, if there are certain characters who were going to return, they would just leave it as a mystery and would never, you know, give us an answer. Some things The Walking Dead are meant to never be answered. Maybe this will be one of those things. One of the last things they talk about, is it more fan curiosity I think at this point? Yeah, it's more fan curiosity. I don't know. It's like you could have a writer from season 1, 2 come out and say, oh, she's dead or whatever. But I didn't work on that season. We never intended to follow up on her story in the final season. So I'm just going to say whatever is on text and screen in Season 2 is true. Yeah, and that's pretty much where I'll leave that one. And basically saying up to our interpretation. So what we can tell, what happened in Season 2 with the Christa and the gunshot. Remember, we had Christa run into that group of bandits. And potentially, depending on your choice, she could either get stabbed in the leg and then you hear a gunshot, so she probably wasn't able to run away. And then if you throw the rock, she ends up running away. You hear the gunshots. So a lot of people think she could have gotten shot by the raiders. Remember, we do run into one of those guys with the water bottle. And we do, again, have no idea about Ralph. The one character in that group of bandits who is unknown. Wow. He is going to be a mystery. And could he be connected with Christa's fate? Because we know the other two are dead. So that brings up Victor and Winston are both dead. Ralph is the only survivor of this group. So Christa's fate is intertwined with Ralph's. Who knows? Christa maybe got away from Ralph. Maybe Christa killed Ralph. I don't know. But it basically breaks down to that because the other two didn't say diddly squat about Christa. And that's always left as a mystery. And like I said, guys, in about a week or two, I'll be starting something called The Walking Dead Mysteries, where I'm going to talk about the biggest mysteries in The Walking Dead Telltale series that were never answered or that haven't yet to be answered, depending on if we get another game or DLC. And obviously things will include like Kenny's hat, Ten's burn marks, Christa herself, and all that happened there, and a lot more stuff. So stay tuned for all that. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smack a like that sub, and I want to thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.
I try to run